Hey there folks, how you doing? Thanks for coming out and joining me on a Saturday. I'm going to jump right into our topic today. We're going to be covering the Taurus GX4 and one other pistol. This is a continuation of a series that I started, maybe 2 weeks ago, discussing the GX4 and comparing it to other pistols that are at or near the type SIG P365 and its competitors. Now that being said, I've done a couple of side-by-side tabletop comparisons already. I've done range reviews on all these pistols. They're on the channel. You can check them out if you want to. I'm still not wasting a lot of ammunition. Today we're going to talk about this one, the Taurus GX4. Show it to you here, folks. Again, this is a safe and empty weapon. There's no rounds in the weapon. I'm going to close the slide on it now, and we're going to keep it that way because once we get back over here, I do have some magazines that have rounds in them, and we don't want any accidents concerning that. So for the time being, we're going to leave it right like it is with the slide closed. And we're going to be comparing it today to this one, which is what kind of got me started in the subcompact 9mm world. This, again, as you can see, safe and empty weapon. This is my Glock 26. This one's a 4th generation. I've had a couple of them. This is the only one that I have right now. This one is bone stock, folks. It even still has the stupid little basket sight on it. The reason I never bothered changing anything on it was this was merely a backup weapon. This was a contingency plan. That's what I got it for. That's what I've used it for over the years. It's always served well in that capacity, but it's just a plain Jane, no frills Glock 26. With the GX4, if you'll remember from the video I made last week, it already has the upgraded Ameriglow night sight on it, which is really, really good. These pistols are not immediately similar. I mean, there's a lot of differences. The Glock 26, as we know, is much thicker. If you put them here side by side, you'll see that it's substantially longer, a little bit thicker. You know, it's got just a dwarfing profile compared to the GX4. You know, the GX4 most closely resembles the SIG P365, which is my favorite micro compact 9, and you're not going to change my mind on that. Although the Taurus GX4 is really good. Okay, the Glock 26 is much larger. It's a little bit heavier. It's a lot longer. And anybody who's ever carried one of these for concealed carry can tell you that it's kind of like carrying a brick. It's very square. It feels extremely bulky when you carry it. But let's dig back to when this first came out. Okay, so Glock came out with the Model 26 somewhere around the mid-90s, 95, 96. I'm sure somebody's already banging away on their keyboard to tell me when it was and what the serial number was and everything else. Suffice it to say, these have been around for a long time. I was just a kid the first time I saw one, and I thought it was pretty cool. And my opinion of them hasn't changed since then. So Glock hasn't really changed much with this pistol since it first came out. You know, size-wise, it's still the same. Capacity-wise, it's still the same. This gun, with a flush-fit magazine, holds 10+1 rounds. You know, comparatively speaking, the GX4 with a flush-fit magazine holds 11+1 rounds. That's one more round in a pistol that's substantially smaller. But you got to remember back to the time frame that we were dealing with in the mid-90s. For one thing, you know, under the assault weapons ban, there were magazine capacity restrictions and everything else, and you know, a 10+1 was about as good as it got back then anyway, so there wasn't really much push to make it better. The Glock 26 is not just a chopped down Model 19 like some people will tell you it is. Actually, Glock had to kind of redesign some of the components to get into the size of the 26, but it shares the benefit with the larger Glock pistols that you can put the higher capacity magazines in. I really didn't want to go to all the trouble of unloading all these magazines for this video. I was trying to keep around 10 minutes, and I don't think I'm going to be able to. But anyway, here, so in order of size from capacity of the lowest to the highest, here for the Taurus GX4, you have a factory flush fit 11 round magazine. You have an 11 round magazine with a pinky extension on it, which is really a short pinky extension. It's kind of like a half a pinky extension. And then you have the 13+1 magazine that you can get from Taurus's website. Right now, those are the only magazines that will fit in this Taurus GX4. I'll show you here what that looks like. Here's the Taurus GX4 with a flush fit magazine. That's 11 rounds. Here's the GX4 with the pinky extension, which, as you can see, for someone with hands the size of mine, still really doesn't make much of a pinky extension. And here's the GX4 with the 13 round magazine, which gives you a really good purchase with your pinky. But those are the only magazines available for the GX4. Now we have the Glock 26, and this is a loaded magazine. I'm not going to manipulate the slide while we do this, because as we showed before, we did start with a safe and empty weapon. Okay, so with the flush fit 10 round magazine installed on the Glock 26, you can see that I have nowhere to put my pinky. I've carried it like that for years successfully. And you can put a 12 round magazine, which gives you an awesome 3-finger purchase on the grip of the pistol. I have fairly large hands, and this is no problem for me. And then you have a capacity of 12+1. But that's not where it ends. You can go ahead and get that Glock 19 magazine and cram it in there. And that's still a little short for a comfortable grip, but it gives you a 15+1 capacity out of the same little pistol. It will also accept a Glock 17 magazine. That's really cool. That's 17+1 rounds of 9mm in a subcompact pistol. But Glock also makes some 19 round magazines. Look at that. It fits, and I can tell you, it shoots. But you can also get a 31 round stick magazine. This one's actually a 33 round because it has an extension on the end of it. It'll lock right into that Glock Model 26, and that gives you 33+1 rounds of 9mm readily available. If you had this in your ankle holster and this in the door of your pickup, you'd be pretty well set for just about anything. But folks, that's not where it ends. These old Korean drum magazines hold 50 rounds. Look at that. If you go back into my videos from like 2015, you'll see a video of where I pumped one of these through this pistol with no issues. So to keep this short, as I originally promised, I'm not going to do the green matte layout like I did with the other two comparisons that I made with the Taurus GX4. Many people know what a Glock 26 looks like and feels like, so it's not like we're comparing two new to the market items. If you want to see size and weight and all that, I've got plenty of other videos on the GX4 readily available for your viewing pleasure. That being said, which one of these is better? You know, is the Glock 26 with its 25+ year track record and its magazine interchangeability better than the new to the market Taurus GX4 that's a completely new design with an unknown longevity rating? The way I see it is this. If I were carrying a larger Glock pistol in 9mm in some kind of professional capacity, and I wanted a reliable backup weapon that could feed from the same magazines, there's no question, hands down, the Glock 26 is better for that application. If I want to wear shorts and Crocs to the mall with my kids, I think you know which one's going to fit in the pocket a little better. So, I'm going to wrap this up. I would really like to hear what you have to say. Maybe you've got some stories that would sway the vote one way or the other. Maybe you completely disagree. Maybe you agree with me. I don't know. But anyway, if you can, find that like down there. Subscribe if you want to. And I'll keep trying to put out some content to keep this interesting. Thanks and God bless.